You just turned mine on. You ready? Yeah, that's him watching. You ready? Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the In Between the Stitches podcast. I'm your host, Brady Wilson, co-host Chase Olschwanger.
Nice to be here.
Well, it's nice to be in a different, we're fit for television here, folks. Someone else was using the podcast space, so wonderful Dean Marshall called an awesome audible for us. And
yeah, just realized my mic wasn't on. I'm here.
Chase's mic was not on. Thank you, Dean. So now, getting used to the new settings. This will not be permanent. This is just, now it's nice to know that we have an extra space just in case someone's using other space.
Very nice studio.
Very nice. Hey, this is, so if for anyone curious, I'm sure my mom's like, what is this? This is the space that they use for like the TV recordings, like NTTV, DCTV, that kind of stuff. So the other one is the podcast space, but we're fit for TV today. Chase, we'll start with the Dallas Stars, as we normally do. Stars won their 30th game, I think, yesterday, right? Two days ago.
4-3.
4-3. Yeah. It was against St. Louis Blues. It was in St. Louis. And, you're talking about a team that is trying to get right after not playing very well for the last, couple weeks.
Yeah.
And even then, they almost blew that game, right? They got up 3-0. You're thinking, hey, Stars are doing pretty good, right? Stars are doing fine. They're up 3-0. And they scored one that looked like offsides, but we'll let that go. And then they scored 3-2, and you're getting a little worried. And then they scored 3-3, and then, thank God, Thomas Hartley, beautiful man he is, decided that he wanted to score a goal top of the blue line, as he normally does. And Stars
saw one in person
squeak out a 4-3 victory. They do play tonight against the Knights. So that's going to be a tough game against a Western opponent in Vegas. But, we've moved down to third place, by the way, in the Central, mainly because Minnesota is still so freaking good.
Yeah.
And they're actually 1 point ahead of us because we're both 30-14, but they have 10 overtime losses. We have 9. And, it's just we would be leading we'd be leading the Pacific. If you look at the league, we're now 5th in the league. Carolina and Tampa Bay have caught up now. But, the trade deadline approaches are still linked to guys like Nazem Kadri. And I think, now they're starting to link us to Artemi Panarin. So they're linking us to everybody, Chase, as they normally do.
Yeah. Is Panarin still in New York?
Yeah, he's in New York. Okay. And so that almost feels like maybe a Jason Robertson for Artemi Panarin. Like, that almost feels like we're going to swap, but I almost want to, let's get, that's going to be struggle to say that, Panarin in here with Robertson, and we'll go in a cup, and if you win the cup, it doesn't matter. Cap space, that's fine. That's way over here. It's way over here. You're not worried about that.
So you're fully on the train that Robertson's just not going to be here much longer just because they can't afford him.
I'm worried. I trust Jim Nill to do what Jim Nill does, but I'm genuinely a little bit worried now that maybe it doesn't get done. Yeah. I trust that Jim Nill, look, the one thing I trust with Jim Nill over Jerry Jones is that Jim Nill will not make it a theatrical thing, right? He won't make it something fit for TMZ or for Entertainment Weekly. This is going to be it's not a soap opera. This is going to be something that he keeps in-house.
It's going to get done.
Or it either gets done or doesn't get done. Yeah. And that's just kind of how Jim Nill rolls. But Chase, Stars, they need to kind of keep up this weird, they're escaping victories way.
They're playing how they've kind of played the last month, except they're pulling out these close wins now instead of losing them or making it to overtime, only getting a point, losing in overtime. But, like you said, this is fine. They're treading water. This is kind of where they need to be. Just keep playing consistent hockey, and when the Stars get to the playoffs, they hit another level. That's for sure. Until they get to the Western Conference Finals, at least. But,
and that's kind of I think what a lot of people are worried about with the Stars is
they play like this in the playoffs. It's not going to.
We can't play this in the playoffs because you cannot rely on the power play. They call less penalties in the playoffs. You know that, and so you can't just rely on the power play to score goals.
Yeah.
You're going to have to score some 5-on-5. And their penalty kill is one of the best. That is a good sign for us, is that at least when they go on the power play, we feel pretty good that we're going to be able to stop them. But now we're going to move to the Dallas Mavericks, who it looks like they play tonight.
Yes, they played last night. I was there. But they played tonight in a very meaningful game, you can say the least. Tonight, Mark Aguirre gets his number in the Raptors. And this is something, actually my dad's going to the game tonight. This was coincidental. He's going with a bunch of friends who had who just invited them. But my dad's favorite player growing up was Mark Aguirre, and he gets to see him in person and on the floor during halftime, get his jersey up in the rafters, or number in the rafters, which is fully deserved, way overdue.
Right.
The only reason it was this delayed was because of the theatrics and the drama that Aguirre had towards the end of his Mavericks career. So that's probably what pushed it back now, because he should have been the first one to have his number up there. But with that being said, it's happening tonight, and it couldn't be more of, to a deserving guy.
Right.
Other than that, what we recap over the past week, Luka came back home. That was nice. Lakers won, of course, and that's okay. People there were not mad. But it was also during the ice storm, and they still sold out. People will do anything to go see Luka when he's back home.
Yeah, that kind of seems to be how it goes. Yeah. That it's like Mecca. We all just flock to Luka. Yeah. Luka. That's we he got to be home, and every time he's here, he clearly, like you saw the video, he's going to the wrong tunnel.
Yeah, he did walk the wrong tunnel, yes.
And it's so sad, because you can genuinely tell he really doesn't want to be a Laker.
No, of course not.
He has to be. That's the funniest part about this whole thing, is that he's competitive, and you see the competitive. Once the clock starts, the competitive fire is there. But it's funny to watch him off the court and everything. You can see that he enjoys his time. Him and Reeves have had some fun little shenanigans and stuff. But you can genuinely tell that he wants to be here.
Yeah, he just can't.
He just can't.
He just can't. With Kidd still being a coach, with Dumont still being.
I don't know if Kidd's the problem.
No, he doesn't like Kidd. He's the last person he won't talk to.
Really?
Yeah, he thinks Kidd was 100% in on it. So if there's any, from everything we've heard and from everything we've seen, I don't know if you saw Luka bought a suite and had 22 of his biggest supporters on the day he got traded.
Yeah.
He bought them all suites. He goes back to the locker room, says hi to all of his teammates after the game. He's all lively after the game. People are, speculating that, look, he could maybe come back in 2028 when he's a free agent. Maybe, right? But Kidd has to be gone for that to happen. That Kidd is the last resort to where, if you are really trying, which, I don't know how Dumont feels about whatever, and we don't know how Luka feels about Dumont. Probably not a positive way, but Kidd's going to have to be the next one out if there's any hope of Luka wanting to return.
Well, didn't he just get an extension?
Who, the Kidd?
Yeah, Kidd.
2-year extension, though. But you can, I don't know how it works with coaches.
Look, here's the thing is, we're bad. Yeah, you can fire him. Look, we're bad this year. Yeah, 19 and 28, Dumont could fire him.
Again, it's not really Kidd's fault.
No.
That they're bad when your two best players. Granted, look, Kyrie had an ACL injury, that was last year. But when your best player, who is healthy, continues to not be healthy, there's not a lot Kidd can really do with the players he's given. The fact that they're only 9 games under 500 is kind of surprising to me. But it needs to be a little lower than that. Like I said in previous episodes, this is the only year we have our pick going forward for the next 5 years. This is a very stacked draft class, and if they want to have any sort of future, they have to lose this year. They have to. It's just what it is.
You're not rooting for them. You're not happy when they lose. But
I'm fine if they win. But I was at the game last night. I'm like, look, I don't care if they win or not.
Win this one because I'm here.
I want them to lose. I was fine. No, I want them to lose. I was at the game last night. I was walked out after they lost. I was like, oh, it's fine. I'd rather that happen.
The way I rationalized it is when I was watching the Cowboys this past season. Once we got past the Lions game, it was, I don't want to lose, and I will not root for us to lose. I'll still high five and everything.
For me, it was after Minnesota
when we win. But when I explained, I think I was talking to Seth right in front of the show, and I said that. When we lose, I don't have that same, this week's gonna suck, screw, I don't have that same crappy feeling. I just feel nothing. When we win, I feel nothing. So that's kind of how I rationalized it. I'm rooting for us to win, but when we lose, I'm not mad about it. And now when we lost and we got the 12th pick, so that helps.
Yeah.
But I think for the Mavs, hopefully we continue to show that we need a top 4 pick. I'll say it like that.
It is a very deep class. Top 10. They need a top 10 pick.
Okay.
They need a top 10 pick, but the only thing to really look forward to is just continuing to watch Flag develop. Maybe Kyrie comes back and he plays a couple games just because everyone's waiting for him to come back. The trade deadline's a week away. Speaking on other NBA news, Giannis wants to be moved.
I mean, look, hey, AD for Giannis, I think that's a fair trade right there.
Don't know if Milwaukee would do that, but
Fair trade. No, it's fair trade.
I saw someone say, Mavs fans are going to be sick when they see what Giannis, the return that whoever trades for Giannis, because there's going to be 3 young players and 3 first-round picks.
Because Luka, I think, has more trade value than Giannis does.
Yeah, the only reason it wasn't as big of a trade is because we got Anthony Davis in return, and AD in himself obviously can't stay on the floor, but AD is a superstar when he's on the floor. So that's the only reason why.
We're going to get into the debate again, Chase. The best ability is availability, and he is not available. You can call him a superstar, but you can call me a superstar, but I was never on the field, so am I really a superstar? That's the problem. Then if the tree falls in the forest, and no one's around to hear it, did it make a sound? The answer is no, it didn't. Same thing. If Anthony Davis is a superstar, but the superstar is never on the court to prove he's a superstar, is he really a superstar? No, he's not.
Yeah. But the only thing to look forward to is April 9th, I think, when Luka comes back for the second time in the final time.
That's like the one thing we all are just like, all right, when's Luka coming back? That's what we care about. All right, moving to the Texas Rangers.
Some news.
Well, we did talk last week. It broke, but of course Chase wasn't here for this. Mackenzie Gore.
Oh, right, I called him for NFL only. Yeah.
We talked a little bit about it, but he fetched, and I have that's why I've been on my phone. I know it doesn't look great to be on my phone during this, but I have to check the stuff. And Mackenzie Gore, 5 prospects. It was Gavin Feen, right-hander Alejandro Rosario, Abby Ortiz, Devin Fitzgerald, and Yeremy Cabrera. So Ortiz was on the 40-man, so that's why we didn't have to cut somebody else. And I wonder if that was one of the reasons why he was on the trade, was because they wanted someone on the 40-man to be gone so they could move Gore in without having to trade and get rid of anybody else. But as I've been able to stew on this trade for another week, I'm a huge fan of it.
Yeah.
You now have one of the best top 3 rotations in baseball.
Ton of Dodgers.
I mean, DeGrom, Eovaldi.
Yeah.
See, even then, I would take DeGrom, Eovaldi, Scherzer. DeGrom, Eovaldi, Gore. I got used to saying DeGrom, Eovaldi, Scherzer in 2024 a lot. But you have Gore and that, but DeGrom was hurt.
Oh, true. Yeah.
DeGrom, Eovaldi, Gore. That top 3, that'll play. And that'll match up, I think, with any top of the rotation in baseball. Yes, I know the Dodgers, Shohei, and they've got Yamamoto, they've got Snell and Glasnow. But if Leiter takes the next step, now you're 4 pitchers deep.
Yeah.
And then we'll figure out the 5th one later, whether it's Rocker whether it's Bradford later in the season, whether it's Jacob Latz, right? I could see them doing kind of a Latz-Rocker combination where it's, Latz goes 3 or 4, Rocker goes 3 or 4, and we're in the 8th inning.
Yeah.
And I think I'm a big fan of that because they're very different pitchers.
Yeah.
They give you very different looks.
You're changing the side of the ball. I mean,
that's
from a lefty to a right.
Different looks. Yeah. But I'm a big fan of this trade. I don't think you gave up a ton of value to get a guy like Mackenzie Gore, who's under team control for 2 more years, this year and, we don't know if there's going to be a baseball season in 2027, but 2020. At least one more season past this one. We will have him, whatever year that is, 2035, whatever. That is the year Mackenzie Gore will be under team control. And so you can extend him, but you've got him for 2 more years. I think that was one reason why the price was a little bit high. And he's been a consistent 30-start kind of guy. So he's reliable.
Yeah.
Just want to knock on wood there, make sure. Again, people were a little mad about Gavin Feen. He was a first-round pick out of high school. He won't be ready for 5 more years.
So you're not going to be here 5 years?
That's what I'm saying is that, you can be mad that he's a first-round pick, but, look at Malcolm Moore. If we traded Malcolm Moore the second he was eligible to be traded, because you have to wait a certain amount of days. My dad probably typing it in the comments. How many days do you have to wait before you can trade a recent draft pick? What?
Where do we send Malcolm Moore?
He's in AA right now.
Okay.
I think. Don't quote me on that. But if we'd traded him, people would have been, he's just a first-round pick. Why did we trade him? But he hasn't shown a lot in the minors yet. We'll see. Baseball's a very fickle sport. But Gavin Feen, he won't be ready for 4 or 5 more years. And in 2 years, he might be stinking it up at A-ball. And people are like, oh, you should have traded him when his value's high right now. It could get a lot higher, but it could plummet. We don't know yet. He's a complete unknown. So fine, I'll take Mackenzie Gore. Rosario, he's been injured the last 2 seasons. What is he going to look like? I think he's missing most of this season too, if not all of it, I think. What's he going to be? We don't know. Pre-injury, he was fantastic. Abby Ortiz, I think his role is going to be very confined. A power-hitting corner and first baseman, corner outfielder. He doesn't really do much else. He's a power hitter, makes good contact, but I mean, he's not exactly going to be Aaron Judge, right? And then you've got Devin Fitzgerald. Now he's someone I kind of, every time I hear about him, I keep thinking Ian Kinsler. They say he's scrappy, he's not the biggest guy, and he makes good contact. He can, do all those things kind of that Kins did. So that makes me sad as being a big Ian Kinsler guy. Of course. But very highly, he sounds like one of those guys. He's not a superstar, but he does so many small things really, really well that it's going to get him into the big leagues. So I'm a little sad to lose him. And then I think, Yermy Cabrera won't be ready for a couple more years. He was an international signing 4 years ago. Hasn't cracked the top 100 in MLB. Like, none of these are top 100 MLB prospects. None of them. You retained Walcott, you retained Caden Scarborough. Those are your two kind of horses right now in your minor leagues. And you didn't have to give up any of those guys for a really, really good pitcher. Mm-hmm. I'm fine with that.
And a lot of the concern immediately after the trade was announced with Gore, people saw his ERA.
Yeah.
In a pretty hitter-friendly park.
Yeah.
Now, and that was only off a couple bad starts. He had I think 3 bad starts in a row, which really inflated his ERA. Yeah. But then he comes to, I believe, the 30th ranked ballpark for batters or for hitters. I think it's a very pitcher-friendly park.
Unfortunately for the Rangers sometimes, but
sometimes it doesn't play well with us. But if we have good pitching, well, then I think every home game we have the advantage. But I think this is like a perfect destination. Obviously, as a fan, I'm happy for it, for the trade. But I think just for him himself to really show his true potential, we've already seen it in Washington. But now, with the help of the stadium, could even elevate it to a sub-3 ERA.
I mean, I do believe in the winning team theory, and that you get a good player on a winning team, he may play even better because you're winning ball games. We're better than the Nationals are right now, so I'm a big fan of that.
And also, a lot of Nationals fans really upset with this trade because they keep saying, so how long is this rebuild going to last? They got the pieces, and they traded it away again.
Yeah,
And so a lot of Nationals fans are saying, well, we're in the rebuild again. So Nationals
are in a really weird spot. I don't want to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
But the Juan Soto trade gave you, and some other things, gave you multiple core pieces.
Yeah.
Guys like Mackenzie Gore, James Wood, CJ Abrams, some really, really good players. You got Dylan Cruz in the draft, right? You're looking like a team that if you add some pitching and maybe a couple hitters, you could get in the playoff talk. Mm-hmm. You've got a core. And then now you just traded away your core's number one pitcher.
Yeah.
What are you doing, right? I think the Nationals now, and you fired Dave Martinez, I think that they're definitely making an organizational, and they got the number one pick last year, right? Am I crazy? They did, because everyone was talking about how Mike Rizzo was going to make that pick, and he got fired before he can make the pick. So, and I cannot remember who they drafted.
Eli Willits?
Yeah. So maybe this kid's going to be, and then the rebuild, you're restarting now. I say trade Abrams, and then keep Wood and Cruz and see if you can try to build this.
You're back down to square one. That's where Nationals fans got pretty pissed.
They can, and then they can always look at the 2019 banner and feel a little better. But that was also, now 7 years ago coming into the season. So, wow, 2019 was a long time ago. Hey, 2016 was 10 years ago. So, it's crazy.
Man.
I think for the Nationals, they're pivoting again, and that's just kind of something that they don't want to hear. But I think the Rangers we're in a really we're trying to win. And look, I know people are looking at the lineup and how it looked last season, and we didn't change a ton. We added Brandon Nimmo, you had Danny Jansen. I think that what they're hoping is, fairly obvious. Josh Smith continues to maybe progress. Jock Peterson regains his form. Jake Burger doesn't get hurt, regains his form. Josh Young regains his 2023 form.
Seager as well.
Seager stays healthy.
Yeah.
Wyatt Langford continues his ascension. Evan Carter can stay. You're banking on, like most sports teams, you're banking on health, and you're banking on some guys. What? Big news?
No, I was just looking at.
Sorry. Whenever you do that, I'm like, uh-oh. Who'd we do?
No, just look at this.
What happened? What happened? I am very interested to see how this baseball season looks for the Rangers. With Skip Schumacher at the helm, kind of a weird team. What are we? I don't think we're World Series contenders. I think you could definitely look. I think I've said it before. The West is wide open. The Angels are in the middle of a nasty, ugly rebuild, right?
Yeah.
The Mariners are really streaky. They might be great, they might be really terrible. Their rotation is still really, really good. The Astros, I think the king is dead, right? I think that they're kind of trying to retool a little bit in Houston, and then you've got the A's that are definitely on the rise with all of their young pieces, with Nick Kurtz and Shaylin Galeers, and Tyler Soderstrom, and who's the shortstop? Jacob Wilson, and I'm blanking on names now. Lawrence Butler, and if they can get some pitching in here, they can maybe be a dangerous team, right? So the West is wide open, I think, for the Mariners, the A's, and the Rangers, and maybe even the Astros, to try to figure out who's going to be that top team. I don't know if the second place team makes the playoffs. With how stacked the AL East is, I mean, you've got the Blue Jays, you've got the Yankees, you've got the Red Sox. With the Rays are always dangerous.
Orioles are going to be good this year.
The Orioles.
The Sheriff Pete Alonso. I mean, and they got a couple.
Orioles are kind of in a weird spot with their roster. I think they traded Grayson Rodriguez. Like who's pitching for them? Great, you're going to score 5-6 runs, but you're giving up 7 or 8. It feels like I'm watching Rangers baseball in Baltimore. And then you go down to the Central. Now, here's where the Rangers have a chance. Central's pretty bad,
especially with this Tiger situation with Skubal still. I mean,
it's probably the Guardians' division to win. The Tigers are in a weird spot. The Tigers.
I mean, if Tigers bring back everybody, it's theirs.
This is what's up with the Tigers: is that the Tigers should be adding, not subtracting. They should have been in on Pete Alonso. They should have been in on all these top players to try to push them over the top and get them to the World Series.
White Sox made the most moves in that division.
Yeah.
The White Sox made some good pieces. Got some good things.
The White Sox are just trying to not lose 100 games this year. The Twins are Twins. The point is that it's not a great division, so that's probably not going to be a 2-team deep division. It's kind of like the West, right? The problem is it's still out east. Let's say that the Blue Jays win the East. Well, the Yankees and the Red Sox are probably the 2 other wildcard teams, so it's going to be down to like the Rangers.
How confident are we that the Red Sox are going to be good?
I'm pretty confident.
Especially that they lost Bregman in free agency.
Yeah, they had Ranger Suarez.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
They added some pieces.
I'm sure they'll be above 500. Is my point, but I meant just.
So I'm.
I agree with you.
Very interested to see how this baseball season looks for everybody, but we will now move. For the Rangers.
Who am I missing in the East as well? Blue Jays, Red Sox, Orioles,
Rays.
Rays.
Last thing is, I think we're one more move away from really being a team to really kind of compete for the playoffs. And the guy that I want is Miguel Andujar. He's been linked to us. He can play multiple spots. They
hit over 300 last year too.
Yeah, he's really shown that. I think when you're not depending on him to be a superstar, he can be a pretty good hitter. I don't need him to be what we thought he was going to be coming out of the minor leagues. Just be solid, and we can live with solid.
Yeah.
Be solid.
Been best hitter last year if he was solid.
I can live with solid. But the Rangers, I think they're in a spot where they can add some money. Like they're not that close to the luxury tax. Like they're not close at all.
What's Andujar going to give you? Is it just be a 1-year deal? You think if they did get him?
Maybe, I don't know. It's $10
million maybe.
But I don't want to talk about the lockout today, the pending lockout, because it just makes me sad to think about it. So we will move on. Dallas Cowboys. We did talk about this last week, Chase. They did hire a new defensive coordinator. That's Christian Parker. The passing game coordinator and DB's coach for the Philadelphia Eagles comes from that Fangio system. And,
one of the 3 guys I wanted.
A lot of people have asked me, my family and everything, Brady, what did you think about it? Why did you like it? And I love it. I absolutely love the hire. I talked about it a little last week how the process was sound. They found their guy, and I think what's more interesting is that your 4 finalists, right, were Christian Parker, Durante Jones, Jonathan Gannon, and probably Jim Leonard. 3 of those guys already have DC positions, and the other guy, Jim Leonard, is probably going to eventually. Durante Jones goes to the Commanders, and something just happened, or because you reached for your phone really quickly.
No, I was just.
Don't scare me like that.
Sorry.
Chase he scared me.
I'm getting into another viewer. My friend texted me about something.
Okay.
I said, watch our podcast.
I'm looking at some like NFL news and seeing if I saw it looked like someone got hired, and I was like, ooh. I think Durante Jones goes to the Commanders. Who's the other one? Gannon goes to the Packers. Leonard's going to probably land somewhere, and you hire Parker. Your 4 finalists made it. You look at the finalists from last year. or the finalists from 2024. Rex Ryan, still doing TV. Ron Rivera just got interviewed by the Cardinals for their head coaching job.
I didn't even see that, really. Go, sure.
Sure. Yeah, they interviewed him. You know, they had steaks and talked some football. They drew it up on a napkin. And then there was another, I think Leslie Frazier. He's doing stuff with the Seahawks. Good for him. But your finalist didn't amount to anything. But this time around, your finalist, other teams also wanted.
Yeah.
And they really like Parker. I love his preparation. Everything sounds really good when it comes to Christian Parker. And really excited about how this. Now look, as I've said the last several weeks, this is an offseason that I'm taking in different phases. Phase 1 is getting the coordinator. I'm amending it. Phase 2 is getting his staff. Then phase 3 is going to be getting the players. I'm not worried about phase 3 right now. Whether it's Pickens, Javonte, other defensive players, the draft, screw that right now. You've got the coordinator. Now you need. Wow, that was a loud pop. I heard crack. It sounded like a tendon. Just
We've been inside last week. I'm stiff, man.
So, so Christian Parker, phase 1 is complete. Phase 2, you really, really need to get his defensive staff correct, and they've already made a hire with Ryan Smith, the corners coach for the Cardinals. It's Ryan Smith, right?
I think the Cardinals, yeah.
Yeah, it's Ryan Smith, right? Don't.
No, I think you're right. I forget his.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Ryan Smith.
And then I know they had dinner with Zach Orr.
And yeah, that's another big one, right? Is that we had dinner, and it sounds like that it's going to be close to a deal with Zach Orr.
And if he's a linebacker,
he's from DeSoto, went right here to UNT. And I'm very interested to see him. I think inside linebackers coach and run game coordinator.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Perfect. Their run defense.
Because he's been the DC, right?
Hey, yeah, in Baltimore, their run defense, phenomenal. It was the passing defense that was struggling a little bit. And then they also interviewed a Steelers guy for their outside linebackers coach. They interviewed, I think, Marcus Dixon for their defensive line coach position. Aaron White caught and left. Christian Parker walked in there and he looked at Andre Curtis, he looked at David Overstreet, he looked at Dave Borgonzi. He said, "All y'all can get out. Y'all can leave. There's the door. Have fun coaching somewhere else. Not nice job. Bye."
White Cotton already went to Tennessee, right?
What?
White Cotton's in Tennessee
now.
Yeah,
White Cotton. Saleh hired him in the Jets. That's where he came. He came from the Jets, but he was there with Saleh, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's a promotion. He's their D-line coach and run game coordinator. He was probably the best coach you had on your defensive staff. Not saying much. But I'm fine with Parker wanting to bring his own guy.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. I'm not gonna. This is where, like with Shoddy. Hey, if Shoddy wants to bring in Connor Riley from Kansas State, if he wants to bring in, I'm gonna let him because I'm trusting him. And
if Parker could go ahead and bring Reed Blankenship and Nakobe Dean with him too, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, your offensive staff is already getting hired. Ramon Chinyoung got hired by I think it was the Steelers. Steelers or the Packers, one of the two, I think. So you're already getting guys hired from your offensive staff. So Shoddy's doing a pretty good job, I think. Now, I think Chinyoung may have already been here. That's irrelevant to the point that I'm making. So I'm fine with Parker wanting to bring in his own staff, and I would love Zach Orr. That would be a home run to get for your staff. Ryan Smith also has ties to Mansour Delane at Virginia Tech. Just a little, reading the tea leaves. Just, wanting to. But I absolutely love what I think Christian Parker's going to put together. They've said they want to get the staff done by this weekend, or at least kind of some things hammered out. So I expect to see news today, tomorrow, going through Sunday, because this week is a big week for football. It is the Senior Bowl. This is, the draft starts in Mobile. Yes, you have the Hula Bowl. Yes, you have the East-West Shrine Bowl. But this is kind of the big one, I think, for a lot of guys. And, the game is cool. It's fine. The practice is what everyone likes to watch, because you've got some of the best senior talent in college football, right? I know everyone always asks every year, why isn't X player? He's not a senior. It's the Senior Bowl. It's not the redshirt sophomore declaring early bowl. It's the Senior Bowl. They get seniors in there. At least I hope that's how that works. I'm not sounding like an idiot.
I think you're right.
That'd be really funny if I'm just a big idiot up here saying that. But some of the big movers have been, Crown over from A&M, but I think the biggest one has been Colton Hood from Tennessee
corner.
because Jermod McCoy is clearly, I think, one of the best corners in the draft. Haven't watched him yet, but he missed the whole 25 season with his ACL. I think Colton Hood needs to raise his stock a little bit, and he's absolutely raising his draft stock. Draft stocks rise and sometimes fall a little bit in Mobile, but I think typically, unlike the Combine, you see more risers than fallers at the Senior Bowl. And at the Combine, you probably see about the same amount of risers, but also see a lot of fallers at the Combine and the testing numbers. But, who's the linebacker from Texas? Rodriguez. I think he's been having a great week. Yeah, he's been having a great week at the Senior Bowl. They've had practices this week. TJ Parker got really kind of internet famous for a day because he had a long arm move. He got right up here on the guy, and he lifted the offensive lineman off his feet. And people were like, wow, TJ Parker, look at that. So everyone's got to remember this. These are one-on-one reps. This isn't game reps. This isn't, handling a slide protection, or this isn't, all right, we're going to play contain, or we're going to do. This is simply just, can you get after the quarterback? Can you beat the offensive lineman in a pass rush rep, right? This isn't run blocking, which I've always said I think favors the offensive lineman, whereas pass rushing favors the defensive lineman. This is favoring them, but it's still always fun to see, the different matchups.
Yep.
And then the last kind of big thing that we have to talk about when it comes to football is Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
And I really wish we were in our studio, because I would call Seth, our Patriots fan, and I would ask him to keep it family friendly, but then to release his emotions.
I can just call him, put him right here to the microphone.
Yeah, emotions about this. He is not happy. He is not happy about Ryan Hill is in the Ryan, right? I met Ryan.
Yeah, you're right.
What are y'all talking about the DC? We're talking about fairies and rainbows and unicorn land and all that. But Bill Belichick. Oh, I didn't even. This is me getting to talk. Chase, defensive staff, Christian Parker.
You said it all. No, I mean.
I say it all, but I feel bad. I got a co-host for a reason.
No, I had my segments earlier, but no. Now I kind of pitch off you a little bit. But no, I mean I'm extremely excited about the staff and what the staff is still to come. I'm looking forward to hopefully a middle of the pack defense this year. That's the ceiling now. That's the ceiling now. I feel like.
Yeah.
Middle of the pack defense. I don't know how we can go from historically the fourth worst. What is it? DFOA? Is
DVOA.
DVOA. In the history of the NFL to just being elite immediately. It's not going to work like that. But I'm excited to see what they bring, who they bring in, who they draft, because they're drafting defense.
Yeah. Hey, Christian Parker, 2 first-round picks.
Yeah.
And money. Did you hear Stephen Jones at the Senior Bowl?
No.
He did an interview, and he sounded like a real GM. He wasn't like, well, we're going to have to let some guys go and figure it out. Because he was like, no, we're going to, try to see if we can get GP done and Javonte done, and, we're going to use draft picks. We're going to invest in the defense.
And when can they officially sign
now?
Pickens, for example. No, I thought March was.
No, that's other teams. I think at any point he's extension eligible, to my knowledge. I could be wrong.
So does it not concern you a little bit that it just hasn't been done?
I think right now they're trying to you're trying to get your defensive staff done. I think they're like me. Let's get the defensive staff figured out. Let's go to the Senior Bowl, and then we'll figure out extensions and tags and all that, and what we want to do. By the way, I have my Jerry Jones, my notes here, the Jerry Jones offseason plan. Just leaked, some scribble here. As you can see, I cannot do a good Jerry Jones, unfortunately. I wish I could do a good Jerry Jones.
You see that line's going through that line, where it's supposed to go that line through that line.
Yeah, and so this line right here represents George Pickens' contract going through their cap space. And this line represents how, they're going to not sign Javonte Williams, and they're going to sign like Ronald Jones again or something. This line right here shows Catboy and his comp picks and why he doesn't want to sign any new free agents. So very artistic, for the Dallas Cowboys. But we've got to talk about Bill Belichick. Absolutely have to talk about Belichick. The greatest coach in the history of the sport.
Not a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Not a first ballot Hall of Famer.
So nobody is then, if that's the case.
This is. What I feel like I've talked about it with Seth, so I feel like I'm kind of burnt out talking about it. But it sounds like guys like Bill Polian, and we'll get to him and Tony Dungy were kind of adamant, that the cheating bothered some guys, and some of the media might not have voted for him because Belichick was never, I will now do my impression of Bill Belichick talking to the media. Yeah, we're gonna, we're gonna play hard, and we're gonna try to win, and we're on Cincinnati, and
Well, it wasn't really him going against Belichick. It was more because it was Bill who said Pauline, right? Is that how you say it?
Who?
Bill Polian.
Polian.
He was the one who said, I wasn't voting against Belichick. I was voting for guys like Roger Craig and L.C. Greenwood, who are closer to their expiration, I guess you could say, when it comes to the Hall of Fame.
But here's the logic behind that. I'm mad that these players have been snubbed. So I'm going to snub Bill Belichick to write this snub.
He was hoping that everyone else would vote for Belichick.
That's dumb. That's dumb. That's so illogical. You are so trying to pass off the blame. Well, it's not my fault I didn't vote for him. I assumed that the other guys would vote for him.
Yeah.
I don't understand this. I don't understand.
You vote for the first ballot Hall of Famer.
I've ranted about this, about the Baseball Hall of Fame, because I remember I mentioned that and Seth went, oh God, because he felt another rant coming on. I ranted about it with baseball. I've ranted about it now with football. I hate how voters vote for the Hall of Fame. Quit voting for other voters. Well, I won't vote for this guy for whatever, but he should still get in.
So vote for him.
I think this guy should be president, but I'm not going to vote for him because that makes no sense. It makes zero sense. Why are you voting? Because I think other guys will vote for Bill Belichick.
Well, everybody had that same logic. So.
Oh, you mean that not enough people voted for him? I wonder how that happened. Scratch harder. Maybe you'll find a brain. I mean, this is frustrating because, and Roger, Roger Craig, vote for him. That's fine. He deserves it. Ken Anderson deserves it. L.C. Greenwood, who? Belichick. What is this? This is the greatest coach in the history of your sport. You can argue Don Shula, but Don Shula didn't win 6 Super Bowls and 2 more as a coordinator. You could argue Landry. I think you could argue Andy Reid. I think the only true other coach that I think has the pedigree and coaching ability is Lombardi. I think it's probably Belichick. I think Lombardi, and then I would probably have it Shula, maybe 3. But how do you not vote for the greatest coach in the modern era, who built a 17-year dynasty from 2001 to 2018? That was the Super Bowl years, right? So you can. They also made the playoffs in 2019, all that. But you built a dynasty that spanned almost 2 decades in football. You won 6 Super Bowls. Not to mention, you won 2 more as a coordinator with the Giants. Part of those great teams. You're telling me that guy, if Bill Belichick's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, then nobody should be. This is the logic that some people use when Rivera got the unanimous thing. It's like, well, if Babe Ruth wasn't unanimous, why is Rivera unanimous, right? And I understand that logic with the unanimous thing, but I think this is a little bit different. If Bill Belichick, and everyone knows me that's heard me talk about the Hall of Fame, I hate the whole first ballot Hall of Fame stuff, right? He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Well, I don't think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but I think that is the biggest crock of crap ever. You're either a Hall of Famer or you're not a Hall of Famer. I don't think that I put 0 importance on first ballot Hall of Famer. 0. I don't think it's important. I don't think there is any extra, let me emphasize, extra importance on being first ballot. Now, this has also been kind of a debate. Now, I know football, how they do it, how they have to whittle down candidates, that it actually does place kind of more of an emphasis on first ballot, I guess, maybe, but I still don't believe in it. I believe you should vote for whoever the best candidates are. Yeah. If L.C. Greenwood has not been on it yet, I'm sorry if you think he's a snub, there might be a reason he's not in yet. Okay? Yeah. You're going to snub Belichick for this guy? And I love Roger Craig and I love Ken Anderson. I'll throw them in there too. I'm sorry that they're not in. They should be in. But it's not Belichick's fault. Like, he's eligible. How are you not voting for this guy? He should be, it's a candidate of 5 guys, right? You vote for 3 of them. You should write, here, I'm going to write it right now. Belichick. Okay. You have 2 more slots. Fill them. You shouldn't have, the first slot should be filled. It should have been unanimous. There should have been no discussion. It should have been, oh, Belichick? Yeah, vote. He's in. Like, that should have all been.
And it brings me to mention, like, when Brady's eligible.
Yeah.
If they're really knocking Belichick off on the Deflategate and whatever.
It's Spygate.
That Brady was involved in that too. I mean, does that?
Well, here's the thing.
Or is Tom Brady not a first ballot Hall of Famer? There's no difference.
Well, here's the thing. With that was a big squeak. I can debunk these 2. Spygate. Okay, here's Spygate. They were doing something that had been legal before. They had sent out a memo. They were either going to crack down on it. The Jets got caught doing it too. So the Jets whined and moaned to the league that the Patriots were doing this. Mangini was doing the same thing. And what happened? Chase, do you know what happened in 2007? That was week 2 when they got caught, right? Do you know what happened the rest of the way? They went undefeated. They didn't lose a game. They got caught, fine. It didn't help them.
2008 when Brady got hurt?
Yes.
Okay.
It didn't help them. They were the best team in the league. They got beat in the Super Bowl. Irrelevant. We're strictly talking about the regular season. Like the rest of the way, they didn't lose the Super Bowl. They went 16-0. And you're going to complain that, well, they were spying, they were cheating. They weren't cheating for the other games. The other, 14 games? And even then, they're taping practices. Okay, and I love, now you see, oh, well, I heard a Steelers player one time say that they didn't understand how the Patriots seemed to know what we were doing. They watched film, you idiot. It's a thing you can do. I can go find on YouTube videos of Luke Kuechly and Ray Lewis being able to break stuff down mid-game. Ed Reed, those kind of guys. You don't think Tom Brady knows what you're doing? Really? This is what we're going to do? We're going to try to pretend that Tom Brady is not a film connoisseur and can't watch and break down what you're doing? We're going to say that Bill Belichick can't watch film and figure out, okay, I think you're going to be doing this, and relay that to his linebackers? It's being intellectually stupid, is what it is. And then Deflategate. This one's actually been debunked. Harvard did a study, and they showed that when they did the pressure, there was a drop. Because when it gets cold, air pressure drops. Why do you think your tire pressure drops in cold air? Because air pressure drops. It is a scientific thing. We've seen it. And they've produced a study. And the NFL went, no, they proved it wrong. They said they proved independently that the Patriots did nothing wrong. The NFL still suspended Brady, and they still docked him a first-round pick. And they went on to win 2 more Super Bowls. Like,
it worked.
Like, that's the thing is, they must have been deflating footballs for 17 years and no one noticed. Like people want to bring up, oh, they were cheaters. Well, I hate to break it to you, a lot of teams cheat. This isn't new. Like, you know, when the Astros scandal broke, it broke to like 10 more teams, and one of them was like the Rangers. Me and my dad went, ain't helped us much. Cool, we're cheating to lose, I guess. But that's the frustrating part. As someone that, and as someone that I know, look, I'm a little bit nicer towards Patriots because I actually was one of the sickos that enjoyed watching the Dynasty because my team, outside of like 14 and 16 where my team was good, right? Even then, I don't have any issues with the Patriots. They weren't unlikable. I never thought they were unlikable. They were really good. The Chiefs, to me, are unlikable. The Patriots were never. And the league hates the Patriots. And the league still hates them. They still hate them. Bill Polian, when they couldn't beat the Patriots, whined and complained to the NFL at how Belichick was teaching his corners because they were jamming Harrison and Wayne at the line. Not the line, they were jamming him down, they were jamming. Polian whined and complained, and they didn't get the rule changed, but they got the rule to be more heavily enforced. So they had to enforce more of the rules for the Colts to beat the Patriots. The Patriots were doing something the refs weren't calling it. They had to whine to the league to beat the Patriots. And then, when they got their butts handed to them against the Patriots, they whined and complained They got beat like 44-7. And that, Deflategate really, the deflated footballs were the reason why the Colts scored 7 points in the AFC Championship game. Yeah. It's infuriating that the NFL and then Bill's rivals have still to this day have a vendetta against him because they couldn't beat him. Sure, he's mean to the media. Okay, he's a grouchy football coach. I don't care. I'm a media guy. I don't care. Like, media people, a lot of people have a giant stick up their butt, so I don't, hey, when you've got a coach with a stick up his butt and a media person with a stick up their butt, that's going to be a problem for everybody, okay? And they didn't like him because they couldn't beat him for nearly 20 years. You couldn't beat the guy. So it frustrates me.
It's complete and utter asinine. I mean, it's insane that Belichick is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. I know they came out and said that, like, they understood the frustration that the people in the media had with this, and they were going to, like, reconsider something. I don't even know. But, like, even if you were able to go and change and make Belichick a first ballot Hall of Famer now, well,
it ruins it.
The fact was that initially he wasn't going to be. So they gave it to him out of spite because everybody else was mad is what you're going to look like.
Yeah.
So, I mean, everybody knows he's deserving of it, and they should change it for him. But the way Belichick's going to feel about it is like, why didn't I get this the first time? Why was this not unanimous? Why was this?
Yeah.
Why did it have to come to this?
Yeah.
So it's just insane.
It's infuriating as a fan of the sport, as someone that values the history of the sport, to see. I mean, it shouldn't even been thought.
Yeah.
And
hear his name, United down, like you said.
This shouldn't even be a story. And it's showing that guys like Bill Polian and Tony Dungy are still, like, you hear about how Dungy talked about the Patriots on NBC.
Yeah,
he never is positive about the Patriots. The Patriots could go 17-0, be in the Super Bowl, he's on the pregame show saying, I don't think they're that good. Like, he has it because he couldn't beat Bill. Like, that's the thing is, I want to like that. You can't beat him, so you complain about it, and you whine, and you moan, and you couldn't get around this guy. That sucks. Get over it. And they're still not over it. They're finding it's people that are given a little bit of more, that they're given a little bit of power, and they're exercising it. I also hate
using it. Isn't
it like in our? And I know this is going to be like it's in our Constitution. Okay, it's foundational to America. I feel like saying the go around. It is foundational to America. Double jeopardy. You don't get punished for the same crime twice. Well, Belichick is getting punished for the same crime twice. He got punished for Spygate. He docked him a first-round pick. And the really funny part, in 2007, at the 2007 draft, they made a trade with the Niners and got their first-round pick in 2008. So even though the Patriots got docked their pick, that would have been 31st, they had a top 10 pick because the Niners, and they traded back and got Gerard Mayo. I'm sure that pissed the league off. So you're pissed off this guy's shrewd, and he's better than you. That's why you're pissed off. But it's a foundational American thing. It is in the Bill of Rights when we founded this country that, okay, a little after we founded
Bill Belichick will be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
That you don't get, so he got punished for Spygate, and then Deflategate, he got punished. He got fined, and he got docked a first-round pick. So now you want to come back in and punch him again? Really, it's little people. Well, not little people, but it's people that are given a little bit of power over someone they don't like, and they're exercising it to the fullest extent possible. And I don't want to cuss in the program, but it's BS.
Yeah, it's awful.
It's a crock of crap. And I hate it. And,
well, at least now nobody, likes the media.
Everyone hates Bill Polian right now.
So, I mean,
everyone hates the media right now, which is, that's fine. I'm a media guy, that's fine. You can hate the media. Like the media, a lot of media people have a giant stick up their butt when it comes to things like this. Because the media people, and you see it in baseball so much. This guy was a real douche to me in the locker room. So I'm not gonna vote for him because because it's so angering. It was he was an a-hole. Well, okay, fine. He's a professional athlete. A lot of professional athletes are not nice people. He's a Hall of Famer. I think the whole anyway. I'm ranting now. We're gonna end the show. Chase, final thoughts? Anything we missed? Oh, head coaching news, I guess. The Dolphins had Hafley.
Oh, yeah.
Giants got Harbaugh. The Raiders haven't settled on a guy yet.
Ravens have not settled, and they were settling on Joe.
The Raiders. The Ravens got Mentor.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about Raiders.
Yeah.
Raiders had their eyes on Dable and Joe Brady.
Yeah.
Both those, Brady just got promoted to the head coach for the Bills, and then Dable went to the OC as the Titans.
It's perfect. I think that's going to be great for Cam Ward, by the way.
Yeah, I think Titans are having a great offseason so far.
That's a slam dunk hire. I think if they nail this first-round pick, they have a chance to be a decent team next year.
For sure.
At least see some development from Cam Ward. And then who else? The Cardinals are still looking for their head coach. They're scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Mike McDaniel, the Chargers OC.
Yeah, the Raiders are the Eagles can't find an offensive coordinator. Here, let's end on something positive. Eagles, no one wants to work with Nick Sirianni. I say ha 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 ha. So much fun.
Could be a mix of things. The way that offense performed, and
a lot of uncertainty on whether or not your number one receiver is going to be there. If someone likes the quarterback, you don't know. I say ha 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 though. We're missing the Browns hired Todd Monken.
Ugh.
Really weird hire.
And they lose Stefanski too. They ended up. I don't know if you heard what happened. Stefanski wanted the promotion to the head coaching job.
No. You mean Jim Schwartz?
Jim Schwartz. Sorry, not Stefanski. Stefanski's Atlanta. Jim Schwartz. Sorry, Jim Schwartz wanted the head coaching job as a promotion from the defense coordinator.
Yeah.
They said, we're going to hire Todd Monken, and we want you to stay as defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Why would Jim Schwartz do that?
Yeah.
I mean, he's wanted other places. Why would he do that? So he's gone. So not only did they mess up a relationship there, they also lost their DC, who's a good coach too.
He's a hell of a coach, and he was one of those. I'm kind of a little angry. I would have liked to have Jim Schwartz on the roster, the defensive coordinator spot, but I'm happy with Christian Parker.
No, I want Christian Parker as a young mind too.
I'm very curious. I wonder if Schwartz tries to maybe if I don't know, Sean Payton wants to. I have to go see where Jim Schwartz is coach, if there's any ties anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, Jim Leonard's going to be gone, you assume.
That'd be a slam. Him and Leonard right now are the two slam dunk defensive coordinators jobs. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Again, weird kind of setup here.
I don't know how we turn it off here. I mean,
well, it's going to be kind of a weird ending because we're just going to. He's going to turn it off.
Okay, sounds good.
We will see you guys next week.
See ya.